Welcome, Druids and Priestesses, to the Enchanted Forests. I'm Jojo, and today I'm going to teach you how to play the Druids of Edora. In Druids of Edora, players carefully use their provisions and their dice to perform various deeds at the action spaces across the board. Assemble the playing board frame and the 9 square parts randomly. When you're finished, there should be 24 shrines on the board. For 2-player games, use the side of the tiles that contain only 1 action space on each shrine. For 4-player games, use the side of the tiles that contains 2 action spaces on each shrine. For 3-player games, alternate the pieces so each shrine ends up with 3 action spaces. Place the overview board and the oracle site near the board. Shuffle the 30 stone tablets. Place 2 of them on each side of the oracle site face up. Place the 6 oracle stone bonus tiles face up in the gaps between the stone tablets, randomly. Place the 3 beige dolmens on the overview board on their spaces. Place the other 12 dolmens on the fields along the edge of the board. Make sure that they are always at least 2 dolmens in different colors between each pair of matching dolmens. Sort the gemstones and place them in 6 piles on the overview board. Sort the 18 potions by their mistletoe value into 6 columns and place them nearby. Place the mistletoe, fire tiles, and bags of provisions into the general supply. Each player does all of the following. Take 1 small and 1 large player board. Take 4 of their 13 dice, roll them, and place them into their personal supply. Take the other 9 dice, roll them, and place them onto the overview board. Place the sickle at the start of the medicinal herb track. Place the prestige marker on the 0-50 space of the overview board. Place the knowledge marker at the start of the knowledge track in player order. 6 runestones and 6 standing stones onto the corresponding fields of the player board. 1 random stone tablet from the face-down stack of tablets. 12 medicinal herbs shuffled face down and then placed randomly face up along the bottom of their large player board. 15 starting provisions. 1 playing figure. The Druid Master is the start player. Whoever rolled the highest total with their 4 dice in their personal supply becomes the Druid Master and takes the turn order token. If there is a tie, don't re-roll. Determine another method for the starting player. The starting player first places their knowledge marker at the start of the track, followed by each player in clockwise order. Before the first turn, starting with the player on the Druid Master's right and going counterclockwise, each player places their figure on one of the 4 starting spaces. Each starting space is next to a shrine where the player must move to on their first turn. The game is played in a clockwise order, starting with the Druid Master. When it is your turn, you carry out steps 1 to 7. Then it is the next player's turn. First, you move your figure to another shrine along the pathways. You can move as far as you can afford to or wish to move. Each shrine you move to costs a provision. Additionally, you must pay a provision for each pathway that you use that touches a dark area of the forest. Your playing figure always ends its movement in a shrine. You can either go over or under the bridge path. You cannot turn on this path. You need to move your figure if you want to place a die on step 2 of your turn. Each player may only have 1 die in each shrine. Remember, on your first turn, instead of moving in the normal way, you move into the shrine next to your starting position. Choose one of the free action fields on the shrine where your figure is, and place any one of the dice from your personal supply onto it. You must pay provisions equal to the number of pips on the die you are placing. It's important to carefully plan your movement and your actions, so that you always have at least 1 die in your personal supply and enough provisions to move and place it. If you do not have enough provisions to move and place a die, you become a druid in distress, and you forfeit your normal turn. Instead of taking steps 1 through 7, you receive 1 die from the overview board and 6 provisions, and your turn ends. If after placing your die at a shrine, there are multiple dice on that shrine, there is a brief competition. Whoever has the highest value die receives 2 prestige points. If there is a tie for the highest value, the knowledge bar acts as a tiebreaker. Whoever is further to the right and on top of the stack is considered to have the highest die. You may now carry out the action on the field your die occupies. You do not have to carry out the action, but you do still have to pay provisions for moving your figure and placing your die. If you cannot, you are a druid in distress. I'll get into all the actions in detail a little later. If your dice now occupy shrines surrounding a fire pit, you receive all the bonuses associated with that fire pit. Then, cover that fire pit with a fire token to indicate that no one else can gain those bonuses. You may get more than 1 fire bonus in a single turn. Among the fire bonuses are some of the kinds of bonuses you can receive in various ways throughout the game. 3 prestige points, move your knowledge marker 1 space to the right, putting it on top of other markers. Take 3 provisions from the supply. Take 1 of your dice from the overview board and add it to your personal supply without changing its face. Take 1 mistletoe from the supply. Move your sickle forward 1 field. If your dice occupy shrines that form a gapless link of 2 dolmens in the same color, you may take those dolmens and place them in front of you. You score 2 points for each die that is used in the shortest path to connect the dolmens. You must connect the dolmens via pathways with your dice. After scoring 2 points per die in the connecting line, if you're the first to connect 2 dolmens, you take the first beige dolmen from the overview board and score 8 points. The next 2 connections also receive bonus beige dolmens, but receive fewer points. The dolmens can be worth more points if you get the appropriate stone tablet for endgame scoring. You can connect more than 1 pair of dolmens in a single turn. As the final step of your turn, you place any medicinal herbs that may have been released during previous steps in your turn, unlocking new special powers for future turns. When your sickle reaches or crosses a field with herbs on it, those herbs are released. As the final part of your turn, take the pair of herbs released and place them on your small player panel. Turn one of the herbs face up and the other face down. The herb turned face up is now active, and you can use that herb's bonus as often as you want from now on. The herb turned face down is inactive and cannot be used for the rest of the game, unless you brew the special magic potion. If you release more than 2 medicinal herbs with your sickle in 1 turn, do the same process with each pair of herbs. I'll get into what each of the herbs do later on towards the end of the video. You choose to either take 12 provisions from the supply or 3 dice from the overview board into your personal supply. Never change the dice values. They are only rolled at the start of the game. If you have already taken all of your dice, you receive 2 points for each die you could not take. Move your knowledge marker forward the number of spaces indicated by the action. Your knowledge marker always moves to the right, and it stacks on top of other players' knowledge markers. If your marker is at the end of the track, you receive 2 prestige points for each additional knowledge step you should move, and you place your marker on top of the stack, if there is one, at the end of the track. Move the sickle marker forward the number of spaces indicated by the action. This may cause new medicinal herb tiles to be released. The herbs aren't released until the final step of your turn, however. Take any one of the 12 stone tablets face up next to the oracle site and place it face up in front of you. You receive both bonuses that were adjacent to the tablet you chose. A new stone tablet is drawn to replace the one you took. Each stone tablet indicates the requirements needed to score them at the end of the game. Each completed stone tablet is worth 10 points. If you get a duplicate, you do not need to meet its requirements again, but you do get to score 10 points again. I'll explain each of the stone tablets towards the end of the video, and they can also be found in the multilingual addendum. Take mistletoe, and then you may spend the mistletoe you have to brew potions. The action space indicates how many mistletoe you get and how many magic potions you may brew. Return the mistletoe that you spent to the supply and choose the appropriate number of potions to make. Put brewed potions in front of you. Finish any bonus actions the potions may have given you. All of the potions can be found in the multilingual addendum, and I will explain each of them towards the end of the video. Take a new gemstone from the overview board and place it on your amulet. Each gemstone you take must be different from ones you've already taken. The action where you placed your die indicates which level the gemstone gets placed in, either 1, 2, or 3. The first gemstone of each level must go on the left. The second of each level goes on the right. The multiplier on the action indicates how many times you take that gemstone's bonus. You take this amulet action. You choose any new gemstone. You place that gemstone on the left side of the marked level and get 3 provisions multiplied by 3 for a total of 9 provisions from the supply. The amulet scores bonus points at the end of the game, depending on how much of it you completed. Take any one of the standing stones from your player board and place it in the shrine where your player figure is. It remains there until the end of the game. Then, take the bonus indicated below the chosen standing stone. And then immediately gain all of the bonuses that are below removed standing stones, from left to right, including the one that you just removed. You just placed your provision standing stone on the shrine, and then you take 3 provisions. Then, you get 3 points, 3 more provisions, a new die, and a mistletoe. Take any one of the runestones and place it in the shrine where your player figure is. It remains at this shrine until the end of the game. Take the bonus indicated to the right of the runestone. The value of the die you just placed determines the value of the bonus. For the upper 3 runestones, you subtract 1 from the die you placed and take that number of the respective bonus. For the lower 3 runestones, you multiply the die you placed by 1, 2, or 3 and receive the respective bonus. You place a 5 on the action field and choose the mistletoe runestone. You receive 4 mistletoe from the supply. If you choose the prestige points runestone instead, you would receive 10 victory points. Play until one of you has placed their last die on a shrine, at least 13 rounds. Finish the current round until everyone has had the same number of turns. Then proceed with final scoring. Every 6 provisions, each mistletoe, and each unplaced die in your supply is worth a point. You score the highest number of prestige points you reached with your sickle. Each stone tablet that you have the requirements for is worth 10 points. For each gemstone on the right layer of your amulet, you score 10 points. For completing the left half of your amulet, you score 20 points. Finally, remove all the dice from every shrine except for the die with the highest value. Tie-breaking is determined by the knowledge bar as usual. Place removed dice onto the overview board. Now, there is at most 1 die on each shrine. The owner of that die takes that die along with all runestones and standing stones in that shrine. Do so until all shrines are completely empty. Now, multiply the total dice, runestones, and standing stones that you've gained in final scoring by the highest multiplier value that your marker has reached on the knowledge track. The results are how many points you score for your shrines. The winner is the player with the most prestige points. If tied, the tiebreaker is whoever is further behind on the knowledge bar. After you've played the game a few times, there are 4 official variants you can try. At setup, instead of getting a stone tablet at random, draw 3 stone tablets and keep one. Only the starting player randomly places their medicinal herbs on their player board. Once finished, all other players lay out their 12 herbs in the same order. Everybody lays out their 12 medicinal herbs in secret, distributing them as they wish, face down. Once all players are ready, reveal the herbs and start the game. All players roll their 4 starting dice as normal, but then only the Druid Master rolls their remaining 9 dice. Each other player turns their remaining 9 dice to be the exact same distribution as the starting player's dice on the overview board. Thank you so much for watching, and happy gaming! If you want more details on the medicinal herbs, the stone tablets, and the magic potions, I continue on. Otherwise, you probably know enough to get going and can reference the multilingual addendum for the tablets and the potions, and the rulebook for the herbs. Have fun! Every time you do the Take Provision action, you take 6 more provisions for a total of 18 provisions and a bonus of 3 points. Every time you perform the Take Mistletoe action, you take 1 additional mistletoe and 3 prestige points. Every time you perform the Sickle Marker action, you move your sickle forward 2 additional fields. Every time you perform the Knowledge Marker action, you move your Knowledge Marker forward 2 additional fields. The 4 herbs that we just talked about can only be used when taking the respective action. They cannot be used when gaining the appropriate bonuses from the fires. Every time you perform the Add Amulet action, increase the multiplier for the action by 1. If you place the 3 provision gemstone while doing the Amulet times 3 action, instead of getting 9 provisions, you would receive 12 instead, because times 3 becomes times 4. Every time before you place a die on a shrine, and only then, you can turn the pip value up to 2 points higher or lower, not below 1 and not above 6. And 1 does not wrap to 6. Pay and use the new value. Every time you perform the Erect a Standing Stone action, receive any one of the bonuses you received 1 more time. When moving your figure, you may choose to move it to any other shrine in the same clearing. A clearing is a set of shrines connected via light-colored forest. Each clearing is like an island if you look at the dark forests as an ocean. Regardless of the pathways connecting these shrines, you may move to any other shrine in the same clearing. Your movement must end in this clearing and cannot go further. Moving in this way costs 1 provision. Every time you perform the Erect a Runestone action, you can consider the die you just placed to have a value of 2 higher than what it is. The value may go above 6. If we had the Runestone herb, when we placed the 2 runestones we placed earlier, we would have instead received 6 mistletoe, or 14 victory points. Every time you place a fire tile, you may take one of the bonuses that you received a second time. Every time that you receive exactly 3 prestige points, you receive 5 points instead. If you surround a fire pit that gives you 3 prestige points, 3 prestige points, and a die, you get 10 prestige points and a die. Herbs can combine with other herbs. You have the prestige herb and the amulet herb. You take the 3 prestige point gemstone on a times 2 amulet action. Normally, it would be 3 times 2, which results in 6 victory points. The prestige herb turns 3 points into 5 points. The amulet herb gives you 1 more multiplier. So instead of being 3 times 2, it's 5 times 3. And instead of getting 6 points, you get 15. Every time you take a stone tablet action, you receive both of the bonuses a second time. Medicinal herbs may be used for their bonuses when you're brewing potions. Perform the Erect a Standing Stone action as normal. Choose a face-down medicinal herb in your panel and turn it face up. It is now active. Turn any die you've already placed on a shrine to a 6. If there are other dice at this shrine, perform another competition phase and give 2 points to the player with the highest die there. Choose any locked herb from your sickle track and place it face up in the appropriate field on your small player panel. The herb is now active. If you reach the single herb later with your sickle, you also place that herb face up and it is also active. Take one of your dice from the overview board and 6 provisions. Move your sickle forward 3 times. Get 10 victory points. Do exactly the same as the erect a runestone action as if the die were a 3. Do exactly the same as the take a stone tablet action. Move your knowledge marker forward 3 spaces. Take 2 of your dice into your supply, 6 provisions, and 5 victory points. This one works as the same as the 2-cost potion, but you get to activate 2 medicinal herbs. Do exactly the same as the add an amulet action, but with a multiplier of ×5, and you can do it on any of the 3 levels. If you brew this potion, and you already have the amulet herb that gives +1 to the multiplier, and the prestige herb that turns 3 points into 5 points, you could score 30 points by choosing the victory point gemstone. 3 points becomes 5 points. The 5 multiplier becomes 6. 5 times 6 is 30. Do exactly the same as the erect a runestone action, but with a die value of a 6. Do 2 standing stone actions back to back. Erect a standing stone and get all the bonuses, and then erect a standing stone and get all the bonuses. You may turn up to 3 of your dice into 6s that have already been placed on shrines. Also, do 3 competition phases in those shrines. Take 2 stone tablet actions back to back. First one with the usual bonuses, refill the field, and then a second action with the usual bonuses. Score 25 points. To score each stone tablet, you must meet its requirements. If you get a duplicate, you do not need to meet its requirements again, but you do get to score it again. Each completed stone tablet is worth 10 prestige points. You have erected at least 4 of your 6 standing stones. You have 3 dice on 3 of the 4 starting shrines. You have 4 dice in a straight line, regardless of paths. At least 3 dice adjacent with the same value along pathways. You own at least 5 dolmens. You've erected at least 4 of your 6 runestones. You've moved your knowledge marker at least 6 fields. You own at least 4 stone tablets. They do not need to be complete. You have at least 6 active, meaning face up, medicinal herbs. You have dice on all shrines in at least 3 clearings. You have at least 5 gemstones on your amulet. You have dice on shrines in 6 different clearings. You have dice on at least 4 shrines in the clearing with the portal. You have at least 4 magic potions. You have the dice with the highest number on at least 5 shrines. Thanks for sticking around. Hope you have fun.